In this session, we're going to explore the notion that all of our waking life is a dream. My name is Tayria Ward, and I'm here to help you unlock the mystery of your dreams. As I discussed in the last segment on dream thinking and the indigenous mind, much of what we think of as real is simply created by how we think. Thought creates the world and then hides and says it didn't do it, says physicist David Bohm. Our thoughts trick us to imagine that objective reality is something out there, and our thoughts are just reporting on this reality, rather than understanding that our thoughts create the reality that we perceive. If we don't think that a tree can communicate with us, it simply cannot. We create that reality. If we begin to conceive of the world as alive, intelligent, and longing to be in communicative relationship with us, we open ourselves to that as a reality. But the more than human world, like dreams, speak in another language. It is a language of images, sensations, metaphors, pre-rational thought forms. Learning the language of our dreams of the night helps our minds to relearn the languages being spoken by all life forms. We can begin to conceive of the world as a living dream reality. The little song that we all learned as children contains ancient wisdom. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. To see all of life as a waking dream takes attention and practice. But once we start to see it, we might begin to see it all the time, everywhere. Let me describe an example of the waking dream language as it has shown up in my own psyche recently. During the year 2020, the world was experiencing a global pandemic, a virus that attacks the lungs. Ventilators were desperately needed everywhere to help people who had contracted the virus to breathe. During that same year, an African-American man named George Floyd was murdered as a police officer knelt on his neck. His final words included saying, "I can't breathe." This became a rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement. I can't breathe. Soon after the guilty verdict was announced, reporters asked people on the streets in numerous nations what they were feeling. I noticed that many people from many places said, "I feel like I can breathe again." On the heels of this, in April of 2021, a disaster occurred in Israel in which thousands of people fell down a mountainside in what was called a human avalanche. Many people died in the tragic crush of bodies. I was very struck when I read that people who witnessed this heard numerous screams of people crying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." I thought, wow, here it is again. There is something to this waking dream of people not being able to breathe. In 2019, there were massive fires burning down the Amazon rainforests. Many scientists call these forests the lungs of the earth. Without them, global air quality is compromised, and we could come to a point where we all have a hard time breathing. As the world continued to suffer the global pandemic related to lungs and breathing, many people who suffered the virus could not breathe. So look at this massive dream the earth is having related to lungs, the breath, and breathing. The coherent clues are popping up everywhere. How can we consider this dream together? The thought occurs to me that humans can go many days without food or water, but only a few minutes without breathing. Might these many crises taken together as one narrative story suggest that the world is saying, this is a critical moment on our planet. We cannot go on like this for very long. Is the planet saying, wake up, work together, solve this environmental problem? You can do this. Just like the messages we receive from a painting or a poem or a myth, there are myriad ways to interpret the messages of the dreaming world. In every case, though, the message of the dream, whether waking or sleeping, arrives in order to wake us up. Begin to notice the dreams of your personal waking world, the themes that come to you synchronistically from various places all at once. You dreamed something last night. Read an article in the morning about a similar theme. Your colleague tells you a story on the same subject at work, and then you see a movie that elaborates on the same topic. If you start to notice these confluences and allow them to speak to you, there is a lot of information that can come to you when you pay attention to life as a waking dream. Movies can be seen as collective dreams as well. I have seen scenes in movies that were exactly like a memorable scene in one of my own previous dreams. This has caused me to wonder if the filmmaker had the same dream. Many movies, like many works of art and also many discoveries in science, began as nighttime dreams. Then they make their way into our collective dreaming mind. For example, the exquisite film Avatar began in a dream that its writer and director, James Cameron, had during his teenage years. Take special notice of the phenomenon of synchronicity. Synchronicity is defined as the simultaneous occurrence of events which appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. For instance, you think of a friend you have not talked to for 20 years and the phone rings. It is her. This is a synchronicity that has great meaning to you, but there are no obvious causal connections. Synchronicity seems to be the waking dream of the earth. If you track your synchronicities as you notice them, messages are offered. For example, on one recent night, I had a dream of lying on the green earth. I awakened the next day to a lovely Facebook post by a friend in which he quoted the full 23rd Psalm, which includes the words, "He maketh me to lie down in green pastures." That reminded me of my dream. Then, a friend, seemingly out of nowhere, sent me a choral version of the 23rd Psalm being sung. And then, another friend randomly sent me the same psalm. And later that day, I happened to draw an oracle card. The author described the card as green valley, flourishing, healing. Picture yourself in the fields of a green valley. All of these random events, completely unrelated to each other in the causal realm, came together in a very short time in this startling set of synchronicities. They seemed to say to me, get out into nature more, lie down on the earth, walk in the green valley. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Don't miss the dreaming of the earth. Give it your heart's attention. Let it speak to you, guide you, and heal you. Have fun with this. Tune into the next sessions for more information about why to listen and how to listen to your dreams. I'm Tayria Ward. As you learn the language of your dreams, let me be a guide. Sweet dreams.